Hey guys, Delt here with a friendly reminder to check your loadout. Now that multi-classing is gone, it looks like all of our songs, spells, perks, and skills went back to the defaults. So unless you want to be surprised on your first game, make sure to go check that out. Anyway, we are back to our 0 to hero, and I actually messed up pretty bad my first game, and we have to start over. I'll show you, but as to not draw out the video, I'm just going to show where I died and what I could have done better. And then we're going to get the first 2 games into our next run. And once again, I'm going to try my best to explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and why I'm picking up or leaving specific sets of gear. All of my songs are going to be the same in this video, but I did change around my perks. I didn't want to run Fermata and Lore Mastery, and instead I just decided to run Charismatic Performance, Rapier Mastery, War Song, and Superior Dexterity. This is actually my favorite solo bard build because it gives us the most damage we can possibly get, but we are losing a lot of interaction speed, which is why I was running the other build to sort of rat around it first. So yeah, let's get into the video. Hope y'all enjoy. Alright, so here's where I died. It was a Goblin Caves match. I killed Cave Troll. I got a few upgrades, my chest piece, another ring, and I decided that I was going to go kill centipedes too because I'm a greedy person and I wanted to get as much gear as I could before the game ended. But then I heard a door open and someone coming my way, and I decided that I would go up this elevator so I wouldn't be stuck underneath. The problem was, there was a barbarian literally right there by the time the elevator made it up, and he just used rage and savage roar, so I couldn't get away. And if I fought him, since I had the savage war debuff on me, I would have just lost anyway. I should have just stayed underneath and maybe even sent the elevator up so I could figure out where he was and how to get up safely, because I needed to kite that fight out. There was no way I was winning with savage roar on me, and hitting a few survivable shots would have went a long way. All right, so here we are in the ice caves again, and we're going back to 0, and we're just going to try to get as much loot as we can in this run, so that way we'll feel a lot more comfortable for the next game. In the room that we spawned in, there's at least 1 lion's head, sometimes 2, sometimes the other one's a golden chest. Regardless, even though I can't open the golden chest, I still want to get there to see if I maybe have the chance of 2 unlocked lion's heads. And right down this staircase where the altar of sacrifice is where we want to go. Sometimes there is a giant berserker down there, the one with the dual wielding weapons. This game, it was just a crossbowman, so that's pretty lucky and easy to deal with. And from our first lion's head chest, we get a 2 dexterity cape, a buckler that's actually pretty decent, and a green crossbow. Crossbows aren't my favorite. I really do prefer the survival bows, but I am just going to pick it up because it is an upgrade. And then we get an even better cape with 2 strength and armor pen. And we get some heavy leather leggings with Agi. I'm going to pick them up again. Heavy leathers aren't necessarily my favorite because I don't like how slow they make me. And I do hear somebody fighting the skeletal mage to my west. And I'm just deciding, you know what? We already got some decent upgrades. I want to risk it and see if I can fight this person and get even more. I decided to pick these boots up too because they will give me enough knowledge to play Allegro, and they're also giving me some physical damage. The other boots were maybe equal because they were giving resourcefulness and max health. This just gave me 2 more sources of damage, so I figured that I would take that over a little bit more health. And because I didn't see the archer, I thought that maybe the other player came in here, so I was looking for him, and then the archer just shot me in the back. And we got more resourcefulness boots with +3 move speed. This was a fairly hard decision for me, but I just decided to keep my mentality that more damage is more better. And now we're pushing into this room to see where that other player went, because again, I do want to fight him. I just want to make sure that I'm ready to go before we get there. That skeleton being spawned was a little weird to me. And I also realized that I heard the mage shoot a fireball, but he didn't kill it. So maybe he went underneath to the wolves. I go to check that. The wolves are still there. So I really don't know what's going on right here. And I'm thinking he might be dead. So I'm just looking around for his body. And there he is right there in the corner. I think I missed it the first couple times I looked at him. No, it was just the first time I looked at him then. I saw him when I was opening this chest. And for buckled boots, these are pretty amazing. It's +6 move speed between the 3 agi and the 3 additional, and it's also giving me 1.3% physical damage bonus. That number could definitely be higher, but 5 max health and 12 move speed definitely isn't bad. We also got a green straw hat and some green knowledge gloves from this guy. Not the best. I was also contemplating grabbing the ornate jazzerant as well, but it made me way too slow, so I didn't. With the ornate jazzerant, I would be at 295 move speed if I rebuffed, and I didn't like that. And for those of you that didn't know this, there's also a lion's head down with all of the wolves. So I'm going to go down there, clear out the wolves, see if they have anything for me, because sometimes they could have decent things like wolf pelts to sell. And I'm going to grab all the chests down there. These loose trousers fix my move speed problem, and they're also giving me 1 strength, so I just immediately grabbed those over the heavy leathers. I even think with those I went back and grabbed the ornate jazzerant again. And this is a 4 strength straw hat with some added PDR. I actually kept the 3 strength one because it had 2 vigor as well. And from here, I'm going to go into the raft room. There is a giant in there that I can fight, and sometimes he has some pretty decent loot. If not, I'm just going to keep looting around. The shield giants definitely aren't too annoying to deal with. They just take forever to kill because you're basically just doing 2 swings at a time, and they have a lot of health. Basically, whenever it attacks, you could just run straight backwards or move left or right, depending on which way it's swinging, and it shouldn't hit you, and then you get 2 stabs in. I always get really bored and want to take this out faster, so I start to do more swings and I get hit because of it. But you could do it without taking any damage if you just do 2 swings per. Dark leather leggings, in my opinion, are just worse versions of heavy leathers. They still take too much move speed away, and instead of getting vigor, you're getting magic resist, which can be good, but having health is basically the same thing. Regal Gambeson and Ornate Jazzerant sort of follow the same idea in my mind as the heavy leathers and the dark leather leggings. So as soon as I saw this, I just picked it up and replaced it. I am losing more move speed than I do with the Ornate Jazzerant, but I'm gaining vigor and more armor. So I'm just sort of making myself a little bit more tanky. And since I have the loose trousers, I'm not too worried about it. My preferred loadouts are either a heavy Gambeson or a Grand Brigandine on my chest, along with either loose trousers or cloth pants. If you can get any variation of those with good stats, then you're pretty good to go. Honorable mentions, the Light Akiton and the Adventurer Tunic, both giving max health, are also really great options. And we are slowly running out of time with this map, so I'm wanting to clear the wolf room, because if I do that, I can get another lion's head chest. After that, I'm probably just going to try to find an escape. Heavy boots with 4 move speed aren't bad. These give me more physical damage bonus, but I lose 4 move speed and still a couple health. So I decided that the move speed was a little bit more worth it than the physical damage bonus, and I kept the buckle boots on that I have. If you're wearing a lighter option than the Regal Gambesson, then those boots could definitely be more worth it. I'm just trying to make up for the minus 21 move speed on that at this point. And at this point, I'm starting to get really slow, and I'm also starting to take ticking damage from the map. That tells me it's time to get out of here, so I just start picking up everything I can from every chest that I open. And right there's our escape, so we're just going to get out of here and get into the next game. As a side note, I didn't do this in my last Zero to Hero run because I honestly forgot about it. I picked up a loot that gives me 3 knowledge. And so what I'm going to do is make sure that I have another song by taking off Aria of Alacrity and Lament of Languor. And then I'm just going to add those to the end. As long as I'm over by 5 mem cap and nothing more, I'm good to go. The reason for 5 mem cap is Rousing Rhythms gives 2 all, which is 2 knowledge. And then my loot's giving 3. So as long as my loot's out and I have Rousing Rhythms, I will have those 2 songs still. That's just a little stat saving thing for you, because whenever you get an uncommon or higher rarity of loot, you can always do that. And then you don't need to put as many stats into knowledge to get more songs. So for this game in the Goblin Caves, I know that I don't have any jewelry yet, and I spawned in a quadrant of the map that has a centipede in it. So I'm just going to immediately run there, get the centipede, get the lion's head right next to him, and then contemplate if I want to go bossing or not. I'm still in the lower tier gear score games at this point, so I feel a little bit more comfortable bossing than I would if I was pushed into the 300 plus lobbies. Also, while I was talking, we did get a blue rapier. It doesn't have any good substats on it, but it's much better than our starter one that we've been using. Okay, and if you didn't know where the centipede is in this room, we're going to go up the stairs, immediately turn around, and walk straight. And that's a free knowledge necklace. It does give magical healing, which is not the best, but it's something. Centipede down, and we got an uncommon Torque of Soul with 1 physical healing. I'm just going to keep the 1 knowledge at this point. It doesn't really matter. Neither of these are that great. And now we get a 5 strength straw hat with 1.5% physical damage bonus and regular interaction speed. I am going to lose 2 vigor, which is some health probably, but I do think that this is worth it. And then I had to wait for the poison shroud to dissipate. At this point, I was pretty decided, you know what, I'm just going to go to Cyclops, I'm going to take him out, and if people come, we'll fight. I feel relatively strong. My gear is nothing amazing, but it should be doable for where we're at. Now we're at Cyclops, we're fully buffed, we're ready to go. Just take our shield off and we'll start fighting. There's the Petrify animation, make sure we get to his side and then we can keep dealing damage. He's gonna rockfall, so I'm just gonna make sure Shriek of Weakness is ready to go. Make sure that War Song is procced, and then we'll start hitting him. His first slam, we wait about a second and jump. Every slam after, it'll be about a half a second. We did a lot of damage, so he's immediately going into Petrify, so we're just gonna get to his side and then rinse and repeat the fight. With the Cyclops' charging attack, we're going to jump the first 2 swings and then duck the third. We can keep hitting him the entire time. I did mess up pretty bad there, but that was his third rockfall. He's not going to petrify again. At this point, just in case there's other players around, I'm going to back up, keep running the boss around, and heal up. So that way, when we finish the boss, we'll be at full health. And if somebody walks in, we're good to go. Usually after he does the rockfall, it only takes 5 to 10 more hits to finish him. And even less once you get really geared. With the Cyclops defeated, we were able to get a 2 strength Ring of Courage. And now we're going to go under and see if anybody fought Cave Troll. If they did, we're going to check the center room first, check the Marvelous chest, and then loot from the gold pile. I could have upgraded my 1 knowledge necklace into a 2 knowledge necklace. I didn't. It wouldn't matter too much, but I definitely should have. Those are pretty good turn shoes, but the buckled boots that I'm wearing are still much better. This heater shield, however, is amazing. It's giving armor, max health, and PDR. None of these stats are necessarily the highest that they could be, but none of them are bad. And I know that this is going to sell for a good amount, so I decided to keep it as well. I did forget if I shut the door or not, so I'm just double checking that, and then we're going to loot from the pile. This Grand Brigandine is great. We're gaining a few move speed, and it does have plus 14 armor rating on as well. The biggest problem with it is we don't have a ton of health, and we're losing even more by taking off the 3 bigger Regal Gambison. But I felt like it was worth it, especially because we could just easily make up for that with a Necklace of Peace or reinforced gloves or a bunch of different items that we're capable of getting eventually. This Dark Chorus was really interesting. It had 3 strength and +1 all, so even though the stats on it aren't the best, I thought that it would be worth picking up. I was wrong. It sold for like 100 gold. Alright, now we're done in here. Let's just loot around some more and we'll get out of here. All right, so now that we're finally at the zone, I'm choosing to go this way so I could just use the health shrine real quick instead of wasting more heals. Since the centipede's aggroed too, I'm just gonna hit him until he does his poison trail. Then I'll use the health shrine and just drag the centipede along with me into the zone. So that way I can still get his loot and find an escape portal at the same time. And I do hear somebody in the room behind me, so I need to be a little bit careful while doing this. So now that the centipede is using his poison trail again, I'm gonna go look for an escape portal. While I was opening the escape portal, I did hear somebody use haste, so I know that the other person here is a wizard. Wizards aren't usually too much of a problem solo for bards. The problem is I have a crossbow and not a survival bow. So basically, I need to hit my crossbow and then hope to get into melee. Where if I had a survival bow, I could just take him down from a rage and it would be a whole lot easier. And that zap really hurt. Just from seeing that, I know that this guy's min-maxed, and unless I can land another crossbow shot, I have zero chance of fighting him. And he procced Arcane Shield, so if I get hit by an Ignite Staff and Arcane Shield, I'm just dead. We're leaving. Just as a side note, I know I could tell that he was min-maxed just by looking at how much damage I took from the one zap, but I inspected him just to make sure, and he did have plus 11 magic damage, which is the highest you can get. Min-maxed wizards hurt. And I'm just going to go through the gear as soon as I do the sellables here. But even though we had that one setback, this kit is looking pretty nice so far. We are missing a ton of health. Like I said in my last video, I like to be around 130 HP. I think we're sitting at roughly 110 when buffed right now. I would also prefer to find a survival bow over the crossbow, but doing solo self-found, that's not necessarily the most realistic thing. I kind of just get what I get, and if I get one, perfect. If not, we have a crossbow. But this is where we're going to be ending the video today, so if you enjoyed the content, please just give the video a like, a comment, or subscribe to the channel. Anything and everything helps, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you who do it. Also, if you're wanting to join a community of people who like Dark and Darker and other video games like it, I'm going to have my community Discord linked in the description below. Feel free to click that, come by, and say hey. And as always, I hope that each and every one of you have a very great day, and I hope to see y'all next time. Peace.